Yo, stay hydrated. Let's do it. You're here, so that's enough. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Is everything going to break? Nope, it's not. It's okay. It's okay. Alrighty. Oh. I wouldn't say revisiting them. I need some FNAF 4 footage for my video coming out tomorrow. Alrighty. Yeah, I need some footage of FNAF 4 for a video that's coming out tomorrow, so... We're going to be recording. I don't even know where this records to. It's on the right drive, though, so it's good enough. Hi, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. For FNAF 4, of all things. So, first things first, we need some mini-games. So, I'm going to be turning my avatar on and off, obviously, throughout, just because I'm sometimes going to want clean footage. Hey Janelle, hey Namph, Logan, your local therapist friend, Kid Gamer, are you gonna play FNAF 1? Not today. Landing, Boxerbound, Tyrid? The Gamer 95, what up? Top BR, stay hydrated, everybody's here, nice. Cool, nice to see everybody. Oh, I should turn off. Okay, now capture cursor's off. What did he do this time? He locked you in your room again. This is the part that I sort of have trouble reconciling with Dream Theory. Don't be scared. I am here with you. So what, Golden Fredbear, how does Golden Fredbear work into Dream Theory? We may need to watch MatPat's video real quick. Let's get some nice shots of Gregory freaking out. These are my friends. Let's get this shot for a minute. Audio list? No, there's audio. What's the freaking button? Oh, spacebar, okay. Tomorrow's another day, so... Have you ever considered that, crying child? Tomorrow is another day. Damn it. Why footage is trapped in the top left corner for me? This is strange. That is strange. My avatar is hidden at the moment because I'm capturing clean footage for the video. We're gonna turn it back on momentarily, though, don't worry. Worry not. Worry not. Alright. Flashlight was control, doors is shift. Okay. Spoopy. I actually have to turn this up. I forgot it's FNAF 4. So, for those who are unfamiliar, the rules of FNAF 4 are quite simple. You listen for the animatronics, and when they're coming, you gotta slam the door in their face if you hear them breathing. Let's get some nice smooth pans, if that's even... Nope, it's barely possible in this game. Can you do this? Okay. Nope. Oh, come on. So that's the slowest you can pan in this game. Wow. All right, I'll get an image of the background. Pan that. We need some jump scare shots. Frederick, I see you jocking me. I hate the noises in this game. Such a creepy model. That grandfather clock was the key. That shadowy grandfather clock in the corner was the key. So we're gonna be watching MatPat's theories throughout this playthrough. I'm already getting scared, honestly. Hello. Any spoopies here? No. No spookies. So, originally, Scott released this game intending it to solve FNAF. It was supposed to be the last game in the FNAF quadrology. And, God, I hate it. Ugh. And, it was supposed to end the series. Out of here, cheeky. Trying to get a night one death here. Because what this game reveals is that FNAF 1, 2, and 3 were all just dreams. But, and we'll go through why as we play through. We'll explain why they were just dreams and why MatPat was right. As he always is, because he's a super genius, obviously. And unfortunately, there was really negative reception to MatPat's dream theory. People kind of felt like it was a cop-out. Because to make FNAF 1 through 3 all a dream. But in hindsight, I think Dream Theory was the only way to reconcile the FNAF gameplay, like the story and gameplay in the early FNAF games, right? Ugh, I hate these sounds. It was the only way to sort of keep it a horror story. Perfect timing there. So, yeah, you know he is hiding again. These are still my friends. So, yeah. Shut up, game. Hang on, I need to... Okay, left for the volume. Make the volume fade away. He won't stop until you find him. So, Golden Freddy is the one thing that's hard to reconcile. Now, we're gonna need this shot. This is a critically important shot because this explains Mangle. There's the shot, okay. So, the FNAF 1 animatronics correspond... Okay, so let's go on this journey with me, right? FNAF 1, 2, and 3 all take place in this character, the crying child's head, right? So these animatronics here, these stuffed animals, these are my friends. These are the FNAF 1 animatronics, and these are the toys that the crying child has that are, you know, manifest in his nightmares as the FNAF 1 animatronics. And that's why Foxy's all messed up in FNAF 1, because his Foxy plush is all ripped up and destroyed, right? FNAF 2's animatronics are represented by the toy animatronics, which are made of plastic. They're not plushies, they're not stuffed animals, they're toys. And the Foxy, the Foxy toy, rather, has been ripped up and reassembled, and it's like this gross, horrifying amalgamation toy, which is why in the nightmare that the crying child has, that is FNAF 2, he says, Mangle appears the way it does, right? So Scott was trying to keep FNAF a horror story by doing Dream Theory. And while, yes, it's a cop-out to say FNAF 1 through 3 were just dreams, at the same time, it's sort of like, well, yes, Springlock suits and walking around, robots walking around and killing people and getting stuffed, and like Mangle literally being at a restaurant franchise. Like, how else do you reconcile this stuff if not Dream Theory? This sound design is awful, though. Do you hear this cackling? That's horrifying. Alright, this is an important shot. Okay. Oh no, we didn't get it because we were adjusting the volume. 1, 2. Let's get another couple teardrops. 5, 6. Oh, they're random. The teardrops are random. That's good to know. So the one thing I have trouble reconciling with Dream Theory is Psychic Friend Fredbear. Because, like, everything else makes sense except Psychic Friend Fredbear I'm a little unsure about. What if we had him standing here? I think here is better. I know that got some of you. So guys, do you know what tomorrow is? It's another day, motherfucker! Okay. Oh god. This is fun. Hey, Chiseled Games. Damn, I was so close. I was literally like, I hit control and it jump scared me. Maybe I wasn't that close. Thought it was close. Alrighty, back at it. Let's do it up. Where my lasers at? Wait. Turn the volume back up. Game is intense shit. One AM. Ugh. Game still gets me, man. When you first start playing it. When are you gonna play Eddie and the Misfits? Not sure. Soon. This is for a video. I need this footage for a video. Foxy's not in there, I don't think. That was a mistake. Yeah, he's not there. I think we might have just died. Nope. Chica's in the kitchen and it's horrifying. Oh god. My favorite FNAF game is FNAF 1 if you're just taking them at wholesale. If gameplay wise, this one. Whoa! There's Fox. There's the fox. Oh god. Chica's in the kitchen. Out of here. Shit. Cheeky's in the kitchen. Ah. Yes. Oh my gosh, we have almost 100 likes already. Thank you guys so much for hitting like. I appreciate it. All right. He left without you. Hang on, I'm just gonna let this run for a sec and then drop the volume a bit. So I want you guys to notice whenever, so this is the only pizza location. There's no Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There's just this one. This is the only one we see in the real world, assuming that Dream Theory is true and FNAF 1 through 4 are the only games, right? It was supposed to end with this one. So notice that the robots here aren't even autonomous. They can't even walk around on their own. They're just like Chuck E. Cheese robots. They're completely realistic. One of the cool things about Dream Theory is that it makes all of FNAF's story completely plausible, right? These robots aren't autonomous and there are no spring locks, right? There's nothing like that. Like, none of this shit is happening, right? It's all in his head, and then at the end there's this tragedy with the bite of 83. But like, you know, pay attention, watch. He knows that you hate it here. You are right beside the exit. If you run, you can make it. Hurry, run toward the exit. So the crying child gets up here and he says, okay, I'm gonna run towards the exit. Not. No, don't you remember what you saw? The exit is the other way. Hurry and leave. No, don't you remember what you saw? So it's all based on something the crying child saw, but the crying child is a child. All right, see, here's a robot we see off stage. The only robots, animatronics we ever see interacting, the only characters rather, the only mascots we ever see interacting with the characters are ones that are suited. There's obviously a person inside that. We can see their eyes, right? That's important. So we go, ah, no, Frederick! Don't do it, please! Do we need some shots of him being scared of him? Yeah. Yeah, you be scared. Crying child, you cry. Yeah, let's get a couple teardrops. And let's get a nice... It's too late. Hurry the other way and find someone who will help. You know what will happen if he catches you. That's a key line. Oh my god, no! So now, this is an incredible scene. Ah! So notice there's two animatronics on the stage. Those are not characters, those are animatronics. Notice they are not autonomous. We don't see them walking around or moving. They're just stuck to the stage like real Chuck E. Cheese robots would be. It's all real. It's all realistic here. In this case, the stage is cloaked in shadow from this angle. And from the crying child's perspective, these robots look shadowy and purple and strange. And that's why in his nightmare that is FNAF 2, we see Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy, who correspond to, it's just Spring Bonnie and Spring Fredbear. It's just the animatronics standing on stage performing their canned routines where they bob up and down and sing a song or whatever. But it terrifies the crying child. 1 second. I'm gonna grab my vape. All right. You can find help if you can get. Sorry. You can find help if you can get past them. You have to be strong. Nah! Well, you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is another motherfucking day. So, he tries to get past the shadow animatronics, but a staff member comes up just to help him. Nothing nefarious is going on, but the kid is afraid of these animatronics, mainly because his older brother, Michael Afton, torments him. But remember, at this phase in the story, there was no intention that the Aftons were actually killers. There was no intention of anything like that. Not really.
Hello?
Oh, super chat. I forgot about those. Cube Sphere, thank you so much for your super chat.
Hello Mr. Theft, I have a question. Have you ever played Darkwood? If not, I highly suggest buying it. It's $4 on Steam right now.
Of course, I played Darkwood on stream several times. It's one of my favorites. I'm awful at it, but I like to play on hardcore mode, so. Gotcha, motherfucker! Anyway, thanks so much for your super chat, Cubesphere. I appreciate it. Damn it. Get out of here, Vegeta. Damn it. God damn, it scares me every time. Out of here, Bonbon. Chica was in the kitchen last I heard. One phase. Thank you. Out of here, Cheeky. Chica's in the kitchen again. I knew I got that one wrong. It wasn't the breathing noise, it was like the cha-cha noise, which sort of sounds like it, but okay. We need to take a break real quick because stop recording. Okay. One sec. MatPat. Alright, now we're gonna watch, now we're gonna go through MatPat's dream theory. So. All right, here we go.
1,100 times, 100 over half. The probability of that one happening is...
Wait, wrong dream theory. Hang on.
Today...
Was this it? Yeah.
Today, we end the horror. Today, we solve FNAF.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Internet? Welcome to Game Theory, where, after months of intensive therapy, I'm back to finally put the original FNAF tetralogy to rest. It's done. No more Halloween updates, no more FNAF 5 rumors, and no—
Yep, this was it. This was it. MatPat solved FNAF, and he never had to make another FNAF video ever again.
no more fan. Suck on that, you multi-bladed propeller of air. So shortly after my last Freddy theory, I arranged a live stream with some fellow FNAFers to close the book on the series. And what happened was something that none of us expected.
We have internet.
We have it, we're back.
They broke YouTube. This shit was funny. This was really funny.
No, not the stream issues. Scott started talking to us. Well, kinda. He
So this is how you know Dream Theory was legit. Scott literally shepherded us to it, like straight up.
kept updating his site, scottgames.com, with cryptic messages as to the true meaning of the game. What is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child.
So we just saw that. What is seen in shadows is easily
True meaning of the game. What is
seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. So we just saw the Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie reference on the stage right there. So that much was pretty straightforward, I think.
seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. In the FNAF 4 minigame, why would the tiny toy Chica be missing her beak?
So we haven't gotten to this yet, but this is another big clue.
And finally, 4 games, 1 story. It was incredible! After a year of taking shots in the dark, finally we were—
After a year of taking shots. Right, that's what I did. In my Dream Theory video, that line was so good. Where was it? Sorry, give me one moment.
story. It was incredible! After a year of taking shots in the—
Oh, it's so hard to do it. Hang on, I'll get it from mine. Where the hell is it? When did MatPat solve? FNAF's trending. There we go. Okay, check this out. This is funny. December 3rd, YouTuber who blatant antagonist of FNAF 4. As you can imagine, the fan— Oh, it's in picture in picture?
cheated.
Where's my picture in picture? Get rid of it. Thank you. Where was it? Here, I want to say.
Was very rude of
If
you.
you're interested in the details, all eyes were on MatPat today. I was ever invited.
A year of
There it
parties
is.
and stuff.
Here we go. The FNAF parties. His FNAF parties were crazy.
For a year of taking shots
Not. There you go. All
in
right.
the dark. Finally, we were, in a way, hearing back from the man who knew all the answers. Scott Cawthon, the creator, was reaching out from the shadows to give us, for pretty much the first time ever, concrete leads as to where to look. But what did these cryptic clues mean? In the moment, the best I could do was this.
Was that the bite of 87?
2 didn't actually happen.
But in the days that followed, those 3 clues led theorists on Reddit, Steam, and YouTube to completely throw out
Oh yes, the Steam FNAF community. That's where the most robust theories come from. The Steam page.
everything that they knew about the franchise. What if we were looking at the franchise all wrong? Instead of counting animatronic toes, calculating minimum wage rates, and tracking Purple Guy's work history, maybe we needed to take a step back. What
And this is the problem, right? This is why people rejected Dream Theory, and I fear it's happening again. That's what my new video is about.
if everything in FNAF was just a dream? That's right, a FNAF dream theory, that everything we play through in these games was created in the mind of the FNAF 4's crying child. It sounds like a cop-out, right? Like a lazy storytelling cliche. Maybe, but stay with me. Even if you think you've heard parts of this theory before, you'll want to stick around. I've unearthed the clues that finally put our year and a half of FNAF speculating to rest. Of the 3 clues Scott gave us that day, the most damning one was the last one.
Yes.
Why would Tiny Toy Chica be missing her beak? What? In the FNAF 4 minigame, you can talk to a small girl on the playground with toy versions of Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica, but her beak is missing? During the stream, we were all like, Scott, please. But when we looked, sure enough, there it was. A few orange pixels laying on the ground. What? Seriously? This was the crucial detail all of us had missed. And yet, for as absurd as it may sound, those 5 pixels changed everything, upending a year worth of theorizing, because that missing beak directly parallels FNAF 2's new version of Chica, who loses her beak when she goes on the attack. It was something we all had written off as a graphical glitch or a design choice, not as a clue to the...
Okay, so there's no way it could be a graphical glitch because I get why MatPat said it. I'm not criticizing MatPat at all. It's perfectly, I would say, you know, you simplify things in your videos, but that was not a graphical glitch. We knew that. It was very deliberate. And actually, the fact that it was deliberate makes MatPat's argument a lot more compelling, you know? Yeah, Chica loses her beak. Why? Because in the FNAF 4 minigames, the child witnesses a toy Chica, a Chica toy, which is what the toy animatronics are based on, without a beak. And it's just more evidence that, like, yeah, not only was this all in the crying child's head, but Scott might have been planning this from longer than we thought, you know? I kind of think that while obviously Scott didn't plan beyond FNAF 1 when he released that game, I think 2, 3, and 4 he might have had the general idea for how 2 and 3 and 4 were going to go before 2 came out. I believe that's possible.
Meaning of the entire series, and yet here it was from the creator's mouth. And that is when it started to click. FNAF 2's shiny new animatronics. What are they called? Toy animatronics.
Yeah.
And that's not just a cute name the community came up with, like Fred.
Scott not only deserves more credit, stay hydrated, but it's funny because it's both Scott deserves more credit and he also made a big mistake because I'm going to argue that we should have stuck with Dream Theory. Scott should have stuck to his guns. On one hand, you can blame us as the fans because I admit I didn't like Dream Theory when it came out. It felt like a cop-out to me. I wasn't some super hipster who was like, yeah, man, this is cool. I was like, ugh, all these games were dreams. I didn't like it either. It felt like a cop-out. But in hindsight, which is 2020, now that we can look back on the series with perfect information, seeing where it went, you look at Sister Location and, like, secret underground labs and, like, consciousnesses in key cards that are jabbed into baby's thigh for some reason. And, like, you know, purple people and illusion discs and Fazgoo and time-traveling ball pits. All of this sort of emerged from Scott being like, oh, you guys don't like Dream Theory? Okay, I guess I'll make these games have literally taken place. And when Scott suddenly has to literally reconcile stuff like, you know, Springlock suits that are completely implausible, they would just use fabric costumes, and sure enough, that's what they do in FNAF 4. There are no Springlock suits. There's just basic-ass animatronics that sit on a stage and bob up and down that are no more complex than Chuck E. Cheese robots. And then there's cloth suits, right? If you want to reconcile stuff like Golden Freddy, you know, like the shadow animatronics, the puppet, like all this shit, the murders, purple guy. If you want to reconcile all of that and have it not be a dream and have it all have literally happened, yeah, you're gonna get into shit like illusion discs and remnant and agony and stuff like that, and you're inherently going to make the story less horror and more sci-fi. And so on one hand, Scott gave us a horror ending with FNAF 4. We rejected it, and then Scott was like, oh, okay, fine, I won't open the box and anything, and I'll change it and I'll make all those earlier games have been literal. But as a consequence, FNAF 4 itself became totally trivialized. It is like almost insignificant in the grand scheme of FNAF's plot because all of it was set up for Dream Theory that Scott ended up abandoning, you know? That said, it's not our fault as fans that Scott chose to listen to us. Sometimes as a creator, you have to know when you have to go with your gut and not your, you know, sometimes you know better than your audience in terms of what they want. That's just a fact. Everyone knows that, you know? It's not like any of us knew we wanted FNAF before Scott made it. Scott was smart enough to make it, so, you know, he was the mind that came up with that, so sometimes you got to stick to your guns and be like, you know, I know some of you guys are unhappy with Dream Theory, but you got to trust me on this one. And I wish Scott had done that, and I hope Scott does that now, and Steel Wool does that now with the Ruin DLC. Like, for better or for worse, Afton was reintroduced. And I know a lot of people, we'll get to this in a second, but a lot of people were upset with MatPat's latest theory because, you know, it just suggests that Afton is going to come back in the DLC and play a big part. But of course he is. Look, for better or for worse, they reintroduced him at the end of Security Breach, and while I wish they would just let him die, at this point he's back, so let's let Scott and Steel Wool tell the story, finish the story that they've started telling. Let's not have them changing shit in the middle again and ending up with this crazy story like we did last time. Like, let's just trust him. You know, it's totally possible that, you know, the DLC could include Afton, but, like, it's super cool, and we play as this character who goes through the Blob's mind, and like you get to see all the old FNAF games like re-realized in Security Breach style, and that would be really cool. So like that, let's keep an open mind.
It's right there in the custom night menu. It's canon. That's a strange name for a bunch of robots, right? Unless it's meant to be taken literally, and then they're all just a bunch of oh my god.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
What if they are toys, and this is all just a dream scenario inspired by these little guys? Well, let's keep going with this toy clue. I mean, obviously, the toy animatronics are shiny, plastic-looking fake, just like a small plastic action figure would be. But it explains a bigger question about FNAF 2, the look and design of Mangle. I mean, seriously.
That's how old you know this is. MatPat couldn't get an official action figure.
Looking fake, just like a small plastic.
He had to get someone's fan art action figure because it was like 6 years ago. There weren't a million FNAF toys out yet, I guess.
Action figure would be. But it explains a bigger question about FNAF 2, the look and design of Mangle. I mean, seriously, the story we're told to believe in this game is pretty absurd. That kids just rip it apart and put it back together again? And so the employees just leave it as a mangled collection of parts for small...
Right, exactly. Like, if you think about this, a lot of the story elements are totally implausible. And, well,
all children to play with. What parent would ever be comfortable letting little Timmy touch that thing? Oh, and here's a cute thing for you to play with. Oh my gosh! Who could have seen that coming? But if we assume FNAF 2 is in the mind of a child who has seen all these toys, Mangle makes a whole lot more sense. He's just a dismantled toy. Think about Sid from Toy Story.
Exactly. The perfect comparison.
Who fuses various toys together to create hideous abominations. This explains Mangle's 2 heads. I don't care how much you redesign Foxy, no one planned him to have 2 heads. In fact, note that Mangle appears in a girl's room. An insignificant detail? I don't think so. The Chica-Beak shows that this girl's toys fall apart, just like Mangle, the tear-apart, put-back-together toy. And toys explain FNAF 1, too. The crying child of FNAF 4 has 4 plushies in his room. The crew from FNAF 1, plushies, as in soft, stuffed animals. What are the original 4 animatronics?
And look how the Foxy toy is all messed up, just like the Foxy animatronic is the most messed up in FNAF 1. It's all ripped up.
FNAF 1, plushies, as in soft, stuffed animals. What are the original 4 animatronics made out of? Soft materials. Fur and fabric, not plastic like the toys. So much so that the one thing that we hear about them throughout the series is that these old animatronics collect odors and never get washed, just like an overused and overloved stuffed animal. But the parallels don't stop there. Why is Foxy out of order in FNAF 1? Well, the plushie he's based on is missing its head. How about Foxy's jump scare popping in abruptly from behind a wall? It's awfully similar to the way the brother scares the crying child throughout FNAF 4.
This one is incredibly interesting. I never would have picked up on this on my own, but look how the brothers pops out. It's very just like Foxy's.
It's awfully similar to the way the brother scares the crying child throughout FNAF.
The hook and everything.
4. In his Foxy mask. No.
Also, I don't think this is a Foxy mask. I think it's meant to be...
Brother scares the crying child.
I think it might be meant to be the literal head from the stuffed animatronic that was ripped off. That's what I always put together. It doesn't really work size-wise, but I thought that might just be an artistic scaling representation. That was always my impression, is that the brother was wearing the head of the Foxy toy.
Child throughout FNAF 4.
And that's one of the things, because that's one of the things that would like sort of inspire fear of the animatronics and the idea of people being in them. If like your brother ripped the head off your stuffed animal toy and wears it on his own head, it's kind of creepy.
In his Foxy mask, no less. And how's Golden Freddy fit into this? Well, in the hidden FNAF 4 Easter egg, we see on the TV that the show Fredbear and Friends features the Golden Fredbear alongside the core 4 of Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. That's your cast from the first game. The dream of FNAF 1 was inspired by this show and the plushies, hence it not containing any of the other animatronics. Even the fact that the child doesn't have a Golden Freddy plush, and that instead he has his imaginary friend, psychic friend Fredbear, who appears and disappears at will, directly references Golden Freddy's ghostly behavior in FNAF 1 and 2. In fact, every game, design detail, and animatronic...
Okay, but what is Golden Freddy? That's the thing that I need to figure out before I can finish this video. It's like, what is Golden Freddy? Or how do I need to be able to reconcile this somehow. Like, everything else, like, is the child mentally ill? I know later it's supposed to be there's a walkie-talkie inside the stuffed animal and his father's, like, littering him around everywhere. I don't know, something weird. But, like, what is it supposed to be in context of dream theory? What is that? I always sort of thought it might have been mental illness, but I'm not sure.
Animatronic can be explained under this theory. The recurring elements of the phone and the fan, right there from some of his favorite toys. The fact that no one in their right mind would work in a place like this? Dream. Firing an employee for something like odor? It's a child's imagination of what employment is like. How about the weird metaphysical hoops that you have to jump through to
That odor thing was a weak ass point.
access FNAF 3's minigames? Well, dreams have weird rules where dialing codes into cinder blocks makes perfect sense. FNAF 3's spring trap.
Not a great argument, but the point that MatPat's making there is like, yeah, dream theory can account for everything. It's the most OP theory.
Inspired by the girl in her golden body finger puppet that
Isn't he/she Cassidy and even in the suit? I'm not sure what you mean. How could Psychic Friend Fredbear be Cassidy?
pinches and traps her finger. The idea that the animatronics stuff you into suits comes from this girl spreading the urban legend that if you die, they hide your body and never tell. The naked endos.
It's not just that, it's that combined with the child seeing one of the staffers getting suited up in a costume, a mascot costume, and mistaking it for one of the robots.
Skeletons come from his time trapped in the supply room. Balloon Boy is the dream version of this kid, excited to go to the birthday party. They even have a single balloon each. Even the oddballs of Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie fit under this theory. They're the product of the crying child being freaked out by the shadows that Golden Freddy and Bonnie cast onto the wall. And while we're on the subject—
Oh, that wasn't even then. That was literally their shadows.
of shadows, dream theory even rolls up the purple guy. Let's pull in Scott's second clue. What is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind
Here
of a
we
child.
go.
Yes, he could be referencing the shadow animatronics, which are literal shadows, but what he's more likely referencing is purple guy helping a fellow employee put on the yellow suit.
And purple guy is just a guy in the shadows, and purple is the color Scott uses for dark.
They're in a dark, shadowy room, and what the kid sees, or what he thinks he sees, is someone getting violently stuffed into a suit when it's just a mascot putting on its head. Think about how traumatic it'd be if you were a kid and you were at Disneyland and then saw Mickey Mouse suddenly take off its head. It would blow your mind. But we all know that they're
Not really. I mean, every kid kind of knows it's not really Mickey Mouse.
There's no murder happening, it's just employees going about the daily grind. In fact, that's why Purple Guy is purple. In the Atari-style games, shadows are represented not with black, but with purple, as indicated by the shadows cast
Wait a minute.
Was that the bite of 87?
by the animatronics on stage. That's why Shadow Freddy, Shadow Bonnie, and even the innocent employee in the dark back room, the shadowy purple guy, are such an unusual color. Still skeptical? So was I. Sure, it answers a lot and smooths out the timeline, but there was still one piece of the puzzle that was missing. One thing that was nagging me. It still felt like a convenient
Oh my gosh, we had 169 viewers for a second there. Thanks so much. Nice. 169.
explanation, but not any
Oh, and we almost have 150 likes. If you haven't liked this stream yet, please consider giving us a like. There's a good chance you'll be the 150 like, and that means you may live forever.
intentional one, not something that Scott had planned for the series. All I needed was just that one detail that made everything fit together. But then, while writing this script, it finally dawned on me.
That sucks when it happens while you're writing the script and you have to rewrite
The
everything.
nail in the coffin. The one piece of evidence that no one can deny and that, to my knowledge, no one has talked about in the months of theorizing. The detail that convinced me this theory has to be true. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Listen to the sound that you hear at the end of every night of the first 3 games.
This is honestly, I would have never ever picked up on this, and it's so clutch. And it shows you how smart MatPat is. He's a really brilliant guy. Like, say, I'm a huge fan of MatPats, but I know some people have some, are not the biggest fans of MatPats, and that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But you can't deny he's a brilliant guy.
A grandfather clock chiming the same song every time. Why would the end of my shift in an office be signaled by a grandfather clock chime? It wouldn't, unless I was asleep, dreaming in my house with a grandfather clock right outside my room. Just
Boom.
It's like the layout of the crying child's house we see in the FNAF 4 minigames. 6 o'clock a.m.
Look how excited MatPat was when he said that.
Crying child's house we see in the FNAF 4 minigames.
He was stoked to say that. You know it.
Hello.
Hey, Diamond In, thank you so much for your $2 super chat.
Hey Theft, how's it going? Also PLS unban me.
I'm looking into it. Thanks so much for your super chat, though. Russian Springtrap. Maybe Psychic Friend Fredbear might be Cassidy, and when guys, there is no Cassidy. There's no Cassidy, right? Like FNAF 4 Dream Theory, we're saying, right? There's no Cassidy in this thought experiment. The idea is that FNAF 4 has just come out. It's the last game in the first FNAF arc, let's say, right? FNAF 1 through 3 are dreams. There is no Cassidy. There were no murders, right? The only event was the bite of 83. That's the only thing that happened in the real world, and it was an accident. It wasn't because the robots were haunted. It was because Michael Afton and his dumb friends pulled Gregory and put his head into the robot's mouth and let him bite him, right? So, I mean, the crying child, whatever, same thing. There was no Cassidy. You gotta remember that, guys. There was none.
6 o'clock a.m. Time to get up. But now let's look at FNAF 4. How does each night end there? A beeping alarm clock.
This is so smart.
Because we're no longer in the crying child's house. We're in a hospital, trying to recover from being bitten. Hence the pills, IV, and flower Easter eggs. No hospital has a grandfather clock, but they're all equipped with a generic digital alarm clock. This, to me, was the missing link, the piece of evidence that took this theory from convenient explanation for a lot of the game's weirdness.
That was quick, Duck Dog. Yeah, someone was mentioning before that they had I think it was Venom was saying that they got like a porn site spam bot in their video comments. We get them here too. They have to be sub to chat too, which is funny, which means I now have a new subscriber, 69mega.com, full life with emotions, find love. So shoutouts to my new sub, 69mega, for over 10 minutes too. 69mega.com, fire emoji, fill life with emotions, find love.
To definitive proof that this is what Scott intended. My heart is racing right now. I'm so excited about sharing this
Why'd you unhide them, Berserk? Okay.
with you. It feels like finding the Rosetta Stone.
MatPat is really brilliant, but he also has a team of researchers and writers. Nowadays, his role is mainly to be the owner and frontman. I mean, I would believe that now, yeah, certainly. But, like, at the same time, like, for FNAF stuff, I don't buy that those writers have the kind of knowledge that MatPat has, right? Like, MatPat is still, like, the foremost FNAF expert in the world, I think, maybe. Like, I don't know, maybe Dawko has read those books, too? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but, like, MatPat read all those books himself. 36 books. Something like crazy amount of books. He talked about in his latest video how many goddamn books he had to read.
Hello.
Diamond In, thank you so much for your super chat.
People say I have 3 warnings, I only have 2, bruh.
Okay. If any of the admins are here, DM me or say something in the... okay, I'm going to put a message in for you right now in the admin chat. So what happened with Diamond In? He keeps super chatting, asking to be unbanned, and it's awkward. Okay, cool. I'll find out for you, Diamond In.
Everything else in this huge mystery we've been trying to solve. But at the same time, it's bittersweet, right? Remember what I said at the beginning of the episode? It sounds like a cop-out, right? Like a lazy storytelling cliche. How many of you agreed with that? If you're honest with yourself, I bet a lot of you. You'll notice across my videos, I don't cover dream and coma theories very often for exactly
because they're fucking OP, yeah.
that reason. They're too easy, too flexible. Because it's all a dream, weird stuff can be written off. Logical errors overlooked simply because it's not actually real. In the theory world, they're OP. They're hard to argue against and can be molded to fit any random collection of details. And for a game like FNAF, where us theorists have spent thousands of hours combing through all the details, making and remaking timelines, bending over backwards to make every last piece of information fit together across the 4 games, it was just a dream reveal invalidates all of that work. It says that none of it really mattered since none of it really happened. And Scott knows this. Let's look at a quote from Scott in his update on Steam regarding the Halloween.
So Exactly, and that's how I felt when this theory came out. It's, I think, how everyone felt when this theory came out. Don't you agree? Like, oh, well, now it's easier to be like, well, FNAF 1 through 3 being a dream is sort of lame, but FNAF 4, it makes FNAF 4 really cool, and it makes the whole story really dark and cool, and it keeps it as a horror story, and you dodge illusion discs and Remnant and Agony and Afton and, you know, like all this shit that just didn't really matter. Afton, I mean, I don't even think Afton really mattered until Sister Location, basically. So, in hindsight, if we could have dodged that and just, like, Scott had done something new with FNAF going forward after this, I don't know, that could have been really cool and interesting. Don't you guys think? Which is why, again, we need to be chill with the Security Breach DLC and let them do what they're planning to do and not try to, you know, not... Steel Wool and Scott need to not bug out and be like, oh no, the fans don't want Afton back. Let's totally write Afton out of the DLC, even though it's obviously being set up for the final showdown with Afton. I mean, I hope it's the final showdown. For a showdown with Afton, another showdown with Afton. I hope MatPat's right. I hope it's the big final showdown with Afton because, okay, I wanted them to move on with Security Breach. They didn't. But we're okay. I'm on this. We're on. The ship has sailed. We're on this journey with you guys. Afton was reintroduced. You know, do something cool with it. Make it worth its while. You know, like fine. I'm down. Let's do it.
DLC for FNAF 4. Quote, the story remains completely hidden. I guess most people assume that I filled the game with random Easter eggs this time. I didn't. What's in the box? It's the pieces put together. But the bigger question is, would the community accept it that way? The fact that the pieces have remained elusive this time strikes me as incredible and special. A fitting conclusion in some ways, and because of that, I've decided that maybe some things are best left forgotten forever, end quote. To me, the key phrase here is, would the community accept it that way? He knows that it's all a dream explanation would fail to live up to our astronomical expectations. It's underwhelming. What about the puppet? What about the oddly specific detail of the paychecks? How about Scott confirming on Steam that my FNAF 2 theory was almost 100% correct? It's this will the community accept it quote that makes me think Scott intended the dream theory to be official, but also understands that ever revealing it would be a huge mistake. Hence him keeping it locked in the box. I mean, you can already see it in the comment threads discussing earlier versions of the dream theory. People enraged by the sheer mention of this thing. Heck, you'll probably see it in this comment section, but it does.
Oh, Jaden Spence. Hey, thank you so much for your 5 Australian super dive. $5
FNAF 4 will probably always be my favorite. Its use of audio cues as part of gameplay helped plant the seed of me aspiring to be an audio engineer.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I agree. It's my favorite from a gameplay standpoint, and audio design in it is excellent.
Doesn't have to be that way. Sure, the nights themselves may be a series of dreams, but the lore contained within those dreams doesn't have to be
Okay, this is a cop-out. MatPat's like, the lore contained within the dreams doesn't have to be meaningless. Like, no, it's meaningless. Afton doesn't exist. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria doesn't exist. Like, that was all meaningless. But it doesn't make the experiences we had uncovering the lore and getting to this point meaningless. And I think that's what's important, right? Nothing could take those experiences away from us. And that I agree with.
Meaningless. In fact, it's not. Think about it. The urban legends the kids are sharing had to start somewhere. That crying child clearly saw something that made him scared of these restaurants. And then...
No, I don't buy this.
How do the Atari games fit in? Are they just dreams within dreams? They're not. In researching this episode, I not only found the clues that solidify the dream theory, but also the missing links that we've all been overlooking in putting the FNAF timeline together.
I don't remember what happened after this.
Scott's final clue about 4 games, 1 story may be a reference to a crying child's nightmares and eventual death in the hospital, but it can also be referencing the story of the game's primary struggle, the puppet.
Look how gross this image is.
And the purple guy. And next week, we're covering that on an all-new Game Theory Saturday the 19th at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. That's noon for all of you currently trying to figure out whether that's midnight or noon. I know, I get it confused all the time too. Why am I telling you the time it'll be published and uploaded? Well, we're covering that story, followed up immediately by a live stream discussion where I, and hopefully a few other theorists, will be able to answer your questions.
Okay. When did that theory come out afterwards? December 13th, 2015. MatPat, all FNAF theories. So the clue that solves Five Nights at Freddy's was the one we just watched. Four games, one story. Oh shit! This was 2 hours. No. It's just an episode that goes into the live stream, right?
It's able to put together the pieces of FNAF. It's just a nightmare trying to do it.
Why is this 720p?
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where it's another day, another FNAF timeline. Don't worry though, I promise this will be my final stab at putting it all together, at least until FNAF World. Maybe that means I can finally do Undertale. You guys want that one, right? Seems like a popular choice. Let me know in the comments. Now let me start this episode by making it very clear. I think the Dream Theory is indeed what Scott intended, where the minigames featuring the crying child from FNAF 4 are real, i.e. there's really a birthday party and he really gets bitten, and the events of each night at Freddy's across the 4 games where a security guard is attacked by robots is taking place in his mind. Like I said last episode, the
Right, we're on the same page, yes.
clock sounds coupled with Scott's own statements both during the live stream and on Steam sold me 100% on that theory. That said, I, like a lot of you, aren't 100% satisfied with that explanation. Sure, the core gameplay sequences with you as the security guard might all be in the mind of a child, but the underlying story here about a serial
What the fuck is this music?
killer stalking the halls of the restaurant are just too detailed and too well fleshed out to just be a wash. Here, to me, are the big issues that the Dream Theory
MatPat doesn't usually do music in his videos, I notice, and this music is really abrasive.
doesn't address. 1. The crying child is afraid of those yellow suits for a reason. Remember what you saw. You know what will happen if he catches you. These are lines that his imaginary friend Fredbear repeats over and over. It feels a lot more sinister and real than just, oh, this kid saw something scary and misunderstood it in the
Okay, yes, tell me. This is what I'm forgetting. This is the part. Okay, this is what we've been needed.
shadows. 2. The puppet doesn't have a good explanation under Dream Theory. Clearly, the puppet is one of the most important forces in this game, but he doesn't fit into the dream model cleanly. A lot of other theorists have said it's symbolic of the boy's actions in his own dreams, but later this episode I'll prove that that's not true. If anything, the boy would be the security guard in these dreams, helpless
Oh
and
my god,
scared.
we're almost at 200 likes already. Thank you guys so much for hitting like. I appreciate it.
Not the puppet. I'm not
I'm sorry, I mean for smashing that like button, man.
buying it. 3.
For Springlock failuring that like button, dude.
Scott confirmed the bulk of my FNAF 2 theory. This would be a strange move for him to go out of his way to say that a chain of events was correct if it was truly meaningless. And
No.
Beyond
shit.
just Mike at this point.
you, right or wrong, actions in his own dream. Story here about a serial killer stalking the halls of the restaurant are just big issues that for a reason. Friend Fredbear, all this have a good explanation on fit into in his own security guard in these dreams, helpless and
So yeah, MatPat suggested in his most recent theory that the plan was to go inside Afton's mind, find the good memories within the agony, make the good memories stronger, thus trapping the person, which may be the souls trapped within the blob, which Afton has presumably taken control of in the happy memories, and thus making the agony disappear. So, this is where we're at now. This was the consequence of not going along with Dream Theory.
scared, not the puppet. I'm not buying it. 3. Scott confirmed the bulk of my FNAF 2 theory. This would be a strange move for him to go out of his way to say that a chain of events was correct if it was truly meaningless. And finally, number 4. The Atari minigames. Under Dream Theory, what? They're just dreams within dreams? What
They
is
don't
this,
matter.
5 Nights at Inception?
Yeah.
And then there are plenty of little issues too, like a young child's dreams being so detailed as to include concepts that even most adults don't know, like sister locations and accurate minimum wage rates. So I combed over everything from the past year of theorizing to come up with the most well-supported, interesting, but also logical timeline of events telling the story of the rise and fall of Freddy Fazbear's. Admittedly,
And the spiders from Mars.
There are still gaps and logical leaps, which I'll be sure to call out. But right or wrong, this is the flow of events I believe creates the most satisfying narrative to the series. So this one is dedicated to all you guys on Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, and in the comments who have been sending me theories for months. Think of this as my end of the year present for you. Right or wrong, this box is getting open.
So he's going and saying like, okay, assuming Dream Theory isn't true, here's the thing.
The story begins at Fredbear Family Diner, the first location as revealed to us by Fangame in FNAF 2, and confirmed indirectly by Scott when he approved my FNAF 2 theory. I don't honestly think that there's much to debate here anymore. A child is murdered outside the establishment by a mysterious figure, the purple guy, who escapes unnoticed. The victim's restless soul goes on to inhabit a puppet, which would then haunt the halls of the pizzeria. Boom! Done. No need to dwell on that. In the wake of the tragedy, the owners sell the name of Fredbear and the character's likeness to a larger company that will soon be known as Fazbear Entertainment. From there, the timeline picks up in 1983, as seen on the crime.
I missed something there.
Name unnoticed. The victim's restless soul. Need to dwell on that. In the wake of the tragedy, the owners sell the name of Fredbear and the character's likeness to a larger company that will soon be known as Fazbear Entertainment. From there, the timeline picks up in 1983, as seen on the Crying Child's television set.
Would Security Breach exist a little bit if Scott had continued with Dream Theory? Yeah, it would have, but it would be different, and it probably would have been better, I think. Because the series probably would have figured out how it was going to replicate its success without sort of just telling the same extended story forever. By then, I mean, there was many years between FNAF 4 and Security Breach, so my guess is we would have gotten like several reboots between now and then, and we would have been used to the idea of FNAF rebooting a lot, and it would be fine. It would be cool.
Since buying the franchise, Fazbear Entertainment has distanced themselves from the last restaurant by redesigning Fredbear into a golden singer with a yellow rabbit partner. They've also rolled out a popular TV series.
No shot the dream could continue if the kid dead by now. It's not like it's a dream world. This is not Xanarkand, guys. This is not, you know... It's not like it's real within his dream. It's literally just a dream. The dream stops when he wakes up. And then when he goes to sleep, it's a different dream.
Fredbear and Friends, as well as a line of merchandise that includes both plastic toys and plushies of all the characters. But perhaps the biggest addition has been a sister location of restaurants where Fredbear's friends are headlining. Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie, known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And that is our first major revelation, that FNAF 4's Fredbear-themed restaurant and FNAF 1's Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location are open at the same time. We know
this one doesn't even exist.
Thanks to the Phone Guy tapes.
My argument is that this one doesn't even exist. Because this is the only real one, and that whatever.
Pizza location are open at the same time. We know this thanks to the Phone Guy tapes uncovered in FNAF 3. For those of you who haven't listened to those enough times to have them memorized, I am so jealous of your life. But secondly, let me refresh your memories. The tapes welcome you to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and then mention a tragic incident at a sister location which results in the yellow Springlock suits being decommissioned. So let me translate that for you. For all of us unfamiliar with corporate buzzwords, a sister location is defined as another company owned by the same parent company. For example, KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell are all sister companies, with the parent company that holds them all together being Yum Brands. Yum is right. Ugh, I could totally go for some Pizza Hut right now. Pizza Hut lunch buffet, you are the best! Hashtag not sponsored. In this case, FNAF 4's Fredbear's is the sister location to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, with the parent company being Fazbear Entertainment. Corporate structure for the win! What all of this means is that the unfortunate incident that Phone Guy mentions in the FNAF 3 tapes is the crying child getting chomped, which in turn is the inciting event that causes the two recently...
So he's arguing that the sister location at the time of FNAF 4... Remember, this is before sister location was planned or announced, so keep that in mind. MacPat's arguing that Fredbear's Family Diner that we see in FNAF 4 was open at the same time as the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location, which were separate franchises but owned by the same parent company and used many of the same characters. Incredibly similar characters. I just don't buy it. And they both serve pizza? I don't know. At the time it makes sense, but I'm trying to think of it in the context of not knowing what sister location would be, because Scott didn't know that at the time either.
Delivered yellow suits to the FNAF 1 location, the Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie suit Phone Guy talks about, to be stored away in the location's safe room. At this point in the timeline, still open and hidden in the back of the restaurant. Enter Purple Guy. Shortly after the yellow suits get decommissioned, more FNAF 3 tapes reveal Phone Guy warning employees to not bring customers back to the safe room and to stop moving the yellow Bonnie suit. In the following days, the safe room gets sealed with the request to, quote, not tell family, friends, or insurance representatives. Now, Phone Guy may be unaware of what's happening here, but we're not. This is June 26th, 1983, the date of the missing children incident we learn about through the newspaper clippings pasted on the walls of FNAF 1, where, in the middle of the day, an employee dresses in a costume, lures 5 children to the back, kills them, and then stuffs their bodies into the suits. Though he's caught and taken into custody, the fact that all of this takes place in the restaurant's safe room, which remember are invisible to animatronics and security cameras, means that the actual murders aren't on camera. As such, the bodies of the children remain missing, hidden in the suits, and the killer can't be charged due to a lack of evidence. This is all represented in the
Fun fact, mother rabbits eat their children when they are agitated, scared, or nervous. I believe a lot of small mammals do that, don't they? It's pretty fucked up.
game by the Foxy Go 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 minigame, where the layout of the game parallels the layout of the FNAF 1 location. Pirate Cove, to the right, a dining area. And as we see in the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame from FNAF 2, the puppet saves the kids by giving them life inside the animatronic suits. So now at this point in the timeline, we have Freddy, Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, Golden Freddy, and the puppet alive and well. Well, not alive, dead, and then reborn. You get the idea.
Yeah, I almost feel like Scott watched this video. So MatPat released part 1 of Dream Theory a week ago, right? A week before this video, and the reception was incredibly negative, obviously. And so Scott saw this part 2 video, which is MatPat sort of reconciling, like, okay, so if Dream Theory wasn't true, here's how it happened, I guess. And Scott was like, okay, I guess I'll roll with this, and that's what happened. I feel like that might have been MatPat, it's not his fault. He was just doing his job and did a good job, but inadvertently wrote the FNAF lore that Scott ended up going with, just because Scott was afraid, Scott didn't want to stick to his guns in the wake of us fans, again, myself included, being like, we don't want it to be a dream, it trivializes everything.
Also, the company closes up the safe rooms to avoid all liability for the murders, and eventually the pizzeria is closed and the old animatronics retired due to the health conditions of the restaurant. As we see once again in the newspaper clippings from FNAF 1, the smell of rotting bodies inside the machines starts stinking up the place. So now let's pause there for a second. Up to now, everything has been pretty well substantiated with evidence, but before we get too much further, let's take a minute back with the crying child. Remember, one of my biggest concerns about Dream Theory is that the crying child is scared of the yellow suits, but there's no real good explanation as to why. So what if the reason the crying child is scared of the yellow suits is because he saw the missing children's incident? What if he saw the employee dressed up as a yellow animatronic?
I hate this because Occam's razor is just the simplest explanation is the best, and the Dream Theory explanation was much simpler in a weird way,
luring the children away. Yes, this would mean that the missing children's incident would happen before the yellow suits are retired and before the kid gets bitten, but it's a theory that works for a lot of different reasons. First, he's always at the pizzerias, especially towards the end of the day, so he'd definitely be in a position to see something like this. Second, it explains his irrational fear of the yellow suits because he saw people get taken to the back and never return. Third, the lines of "remember what you saw" and "you know what will happen if he catches you" that psychic friend Fredbear keeps repeating makes a whole lot more sense now. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, look at this.
But what is psychic
line? "These are my friends." If this were indeed true, this line takes on a whole new meaning. I always thought that line was weird. Like, what, they're your imaginary friends? I suppose, but then why would his collection of plushies just be with him when he dies? Why is that such an important detail that Scott chose to include? It wouldn't be, really, but what if they were literally his friends? That he knew the kids who went missing and got stuffed, and the plushies being there in the final scene represented not his plushies, but the spirit of his friends, the ones possessing the suits, being there with him as he died.
Whoa, okay. right, this is where it starts to get a little crazy.
Now that gives you a reason to be scared of this restaurant. But we can take it one step further. There's one more issue with the crying child we've yet to cover. What happens to him when he dies at the end of FNAF?
This music is so intense, though. Jeez, MatPat. It's like, really?
4. My original theory put him in the puppet because of design details, but in retrospect, that was wrong. Reddit user 3IEYIJ 3I...
Oh, fuck you, man. Like, some of these Reddit accounts, it's like, Reddit user... I would just be like, a Reddit user, and then put the name on screen.
3IEJ. Reddit user 3IEJ did an analysis of the color of the text during the ending sequence. All of the final lines aren't in the yellow used for psychic friend Fredbear, but rather...
This, I always felt, was very compelling, though. This, I felt, was like, yeah, that's definitely deliberate, and it's definitely meant to mean something.
They're a mysterious new off-white color for the final lines of, "You're broken, I will put you back together." It's a subtle detail, but it's very clear that this is an intentional difference that Scott included in the games. So who's speaking? Well, who else but the one figure we know gives life to children dying in events around the Fazbear Entertainment franchise. It's the puppet, promising to right the wrongs of the pizzeria.
And wasn't this retconned, or at least the later interpretation was that it might have been his father saying that he was going to put him back together?
By bringing peace to the crying child's spirit.
Because that would explain how Gregbot exists. Like, the whole Gregbot theory is predicated on that, the crying child being put back together at some point. And who would do that, if not Afton, right? If anyone in the chat has any ideas for that, let me know, because I'm curious.
How does he plan to do this? Well, look at what he says. "We are still your friends." It's not "I am still your friend." The puppet using the plural here means that there would be multiple spirits present in this final scene that consider themselves friends to the crying child, but we also see this: "I am still here." The others are gone now, stuffed, leaving only the one with the ability to transcend the animatronic suits, the puppet. This makes a lot of sense if we again assume the crying child knew the kids who got stuffed during the missing children's incident. And look at the last line the puppet says: "I will put you back together." We've all been assuming his "you" is referring to the crying child, but consider for a minute that the puppet is instead playing the pronoun game, to steal a phrase from CinemaSins, and is instead referring to the plural "you." "You 5 are broken, and I will put you 5 back together." He's planning on reuniting the spirits of these 5 friends. What makes me so sure? Well,
Is this a remix of Pop Goes the Weasel? I think it is, and it's like really intense. Listen to that.
5 are broken, and I will put you 5 back together. He's planning on reuniting the spirits of these 5 friends. What makes me so sure? Well, we see it
like an epic string version of Pop Goes the Weasel.
Happen. It's the conclusion to the whole story. In FNAF 3's The Happiest Day minigame, we see the crying child's birthday one more time. 5 kids in masks representing the same 5 animatronics, with the birthday boy representing Golden Fredbear. You can even compare the locations. Both are long corridors with 3 tables and a 4th one slightly off to the side. The balloons are also the same colors: red, green, purple, yellow, and blue. Even the exit is where the Fredbear stage is, an exit that, if used, results in...
Oh, Diamond Nin, thank you so much for another $2 super chat.
Hey, do you think you can play Minecraft this stream?
I cannot. No, after this I have to finish the video, work on my video. I'm gonna be up all night working on this video to get it out tomorrow.
The bad ending because the souls don't get peace. It's where the child was chomped. And who's the one we see in this minigame putting everyone back together again? The puppet. Just like he promised the boy he would do on his deathbed. And here's the best part. How do you get to this minigame? Well, by playing through a bunch of others, including the Stage 01 game, which you access by typing the numbers 395248 into the wall. Why are those numbers important? It's the hexadecimal code for the color of purple guy.
I had forgotten that. Hey, MLGMG, thank you so much. MLGLMG, thank you so much for your
Everyone,
chat.
have a moment of silence for Mega Chad. Crying face.
A moment of silence for Mega Chad, yes. I had forgotten that this number, the code that you type in, was the hex code for purple, that the purple that he uses for purple guy. That was always a cool feature. Anyway, moment of silence. Okay.
It's Scott's way of showing that the puppet is actively trying to reverse the work of the purple guy and the atrocities committed inside the walls of Fazbear Entertainment pizza places. From here, the rest of the story is surprisingly straightforward. The pizza chain reopens during the summer of 1987 in FNAF 2's bigger location. Fazbear Entertainment rolls out the toy animatronics based on the character models of their merchandise, allows them to free roam, and even equips them with facial recognition software as added protection.
I haven't finished Doom Eternal yet, no. I haven't been playing it lately. I'm gonna finish it soon though, definitely.
For taking preventative measures. However, as we all know, it's not enough. As we hear about from the phone guy and see in the Save Them minigame, the purple guy, now the daytime security guard, kills 5 more kids within the walls of this restaurant. When the puppet enlists the help of the possessed Freddy animatronic,
Pat's images have cursors on them. That's funny. He got a cursor on his image.
To save the kids, the purple guy responds, "You can't," because it's true. They're already dead. That said, a case can be made that the puppet successfully gets these 5
He's got a cursor in every single image here. That's hilarious. In every single shot.
souls into animatronics too. Notice that before this, 6 characters were possessed, but now there are 5 new animatronics in this location. Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, Mangle, and Balloon Boy. 5 spirits for 5 robots? Quite the coincidence, don't you think? Additionally, we hear from Phone Guy that around this time, the toy animatronics inexplicably become more aggressive towards adults, but stay friendly towards kids. The only explanation here is that the 5 new child spirits are given life in the new toy suits by the puppets, but these spirits are angry. The pizzeria is gonna close, but not before one final birthday party, where angry and eager for revenge against their killer, these newly created, possessed toy animatronics lash out.
Diamond in, thank you so much for your live super chat. Oh, sure, yeah.
And everyone a moment of silence for 9/11.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, 9/11 here in New York City, where I live, is a very solemn day, and everyone knows someone either lost someone themselves or knows someone who lost someone. Like maybe 2 degrees of separation at most from 9/11. Everyone my age, or older. It was such like a huge event that affected so many people. So yeah, certainly. Alrighty.
Out at their murderer, the purple guy, who they know as the daytime security guard. Except, bad news, purple guy is long gone. He did his business and got out. In his place is Jeremy, night security guard moved to the day shift, wrongfully attacked by a vengeful toy animatronic the day of the birthday, losing his frontal lobe and coining the now iconic Bite of 87 moniker in the process. This causes the location to be shut down and the toys to be scrapped. Animatronics from here on out are no longer allowed to walk around, and with Jeremy out of commission, Phone Guy volunteers to take over the position of Night Guard. Which brings us to our conclusion. The story comes to a final head in 1993. We know it's that year because of the minimum wage rate at the time, as well as the 11-12.
It almost feels like MatPat was like, hey, so I think Dream Theory is real, but I spent all this time researching this stupid fucking story, so I'm going to tell you what the other story was, because I'm not really sure how it reconciles with Dream Theory. It sort of feels like Scott gave up on this other story, which he maybe sort of did, but at the same time, like I said before, it was still fun to discover these clues that we did in FNAF 1 through 3 at the time we did. And FNAF 4 was a really cool attempt to sort of keep it a fun, interesting horror story rather than, the science fiction magic nonsense story that it became.
12 date on the check. It doesn't matter if you're working night or day shift, all workers get paid on Fridays, and November 12th, 1993 landed on a Friday. It just fits. So Fazbear Entertainment tries to reopen the FNAF 1 location with the original animatronics and Phone Guy as security night guard. With the restaurant reopened one final time, we see this scene, where the puppet is waking up the spirits inside the animatronics one final time. It's time to get their revenge on Purple Guy at last. Phone Guy gets killed, and as we see in the final news article on the wall, no one comes to the restaurant because of its dark, tragic history, with the franchise closing at the end of the year. Sometime after, Purple Guy returns to the building, dismantles the suits, but in doing so, unwittingly unleashes the spirits of the dead children, who attack and kill him, and if they're reunited by the puppet in Happiest Day, finally receive their peace. Well, that is, until Fazbear Fright opens and unearths Springtrap, but with all the other animatronics at peace, the puppet must get his hands dirty one final time, returning to burn down the building and finish Purple Guy off for...
Oh, so the puppet did that?
Good. Or not. Like any good horror story ends. So what about the Phantom animatronics, Shadow Freddy, and all that? Stay tuned, we're gonna talk about those during the live stream immediately after this episode. The video's getting really long at this point, so I want to kind of close it out here. But as we close out here, I have to ask you this. Was that answer satisfying? You see, that's the
Not at all.
beauty of the dream theory and the frustration of anything else. There's so much lore, so many puzzle pieces to fit together that in order to account for everything, the story can't get much simpler than that. Dream theory in this instance is so satisfying here because it explains all the messiness of the lore in broad, easy to understand strokes without you needing a PhD in FNAFology to understand what's going on. Sure, it is possible to fit the details together cleanly, but it's not an easy to
Guys, stop spamming the chat. Duskix, that was very irresponsible of you. Don't do that again.
follow story. It's almost like you need a full-length book to truly put all the pieces together. Okay, I get it. Scrap everything I just said. Scott's got a book. Another FNAF video made moot by a Scott Cawthon announcement. Or not. This is actually a last-minute update. I'm recording this literally hours before the video and live stream tomorrow, but it was just too important to leave out.
I'm recording this literally hours before the video, and here I am sitting there like, yeah, I've never released a video that wasn't recorded 24 hours prior or less.
Because it looks like Scott agrees with my conclusion. For once, the story is indeed just too crowded to be satisfying. When talking about the new novel, which, true to form, released early, he said the following, quote, "The truth is that after a while, lore becomes so dense that there isn't room for a story anymore. Sometimes the timeline gets so full that the only way to tell a real story is to have the story set in a different timeline."
Yes, Scott, why didn't you do that?
End quote. So there you have it.
Like, while the books are not my cup of tea, really, like, and I'm like not the target demographic for the books, I respect the fact that they just were like, fuck it, we're doing our own thing. Like, I don't care about the games. We'll take the cool parts that we like and make new stuff that we want to, and I don't think that all that new stuff was great. I don't think that Fazgoo sounds like a great idea, but I didn't read the book, so I don't know. Maybe it's awesome. Maybe it's awesome, but I at least respect that, and I wish that the FNAF games would do that, and I think that's one of the reasons some of us were disappointed with Security Breach, because we were expecting that. We were expecting sort of the next step forward for FNAF, and then it sort of just dragged back all this other stuff, and wasn't a very compelling game, and was sort of like a big distraction of, hey, look at all this cool FNAF stuff that's like cool to look at in 3D in a first-person free-roam stealth horror game, and like, yeah, that was cool, and there was novelty to it, but that novelty wears off fast. That said, like I keep saying, this is where we are. Security Breach tied itself to the classic games. It brought Afton back. And, you know, let's not throw all that away just because some of us were disappointed with that. Let's Steel Wool and Scott finish the story they've been trying to tell. And let's hope that the Ruin DLC makes better use of Afton than some of the recent games have. And, you know, makes us say, okay, well, because no one's going to remember the base game alone once the DLC's out. Everyone's going to remember the base game plus the DLC, especially because it's free. No one's going to play it without the DLC, basically. So, with that in mind, and I bet some people will only play the DLC if that's possible, here's to hoping that the DLC is a really fun, self-contained experience that ends up being a really cool, grand conclusion to the story arc like MatPat's suggesting in his latest theory. Let's hope that, yeah, you know what, if that's what it ended up being, where Afton takes control of the blob, and we have to go inside the blob's mind in order to, like, you know, go through, and all the souls from all the previous FNAF games are trapped in there, and we get to go through, like, a version of FNAF 1. Even if it's an in-mind version, like, fine. If that's what we need to do, if it has to, it's sort of like a dream theory, right? It's sort of like a dream, like, oh yeah, we're back at the FNAF 1 location, but it's not really the FNAF 1 location. It's just in the minds of the souls of the FNAF 1 robots that are now trapped in the blob. That could be cool because, like, you can have the nostalgic FNAF 1's experience in the Security Breach engine, which we know we'd all fanboy and fangirl over. We'd love that. And fan they over. You know we'd all love that. But at the same time, they could do different things. And if, like, oh, why is this different? Oh, because this isn't literally the FNAF 1 location. We're literally going into the mind of the blob. And this is how the FNAF 1, the souls trapped within the FNAF 1 animatronics remember the location. And then we do that for FNAF 2 and FNAF 3 and FNAF 4 and FNAF 5 and FNAF, like, the sister location and FNAF 6. That could be really cool. We already kind of did that for FNAF 6, but that could be really cool. And I'd like to see that, you know, so I hope that they do sort of stick to their guns and they don't pull a Scott post FNAF 4 and post the lack of Dream Theory's acceptance. And I think part of it too was that there was a big frustration with the books in the wake of Dream Theory, that these books came out right afterwards, as MatPat points out, and that they sort of did this reset, but it was sort of like a half reset. You know, as we've all seen, MatPat, the books do have clearly had an influence on the games. Security Breach, more than any other game, has taken more influence from the books, more than any other game. But, you know,
Game theory for your simple answer, and a 20-minute long timeline for those of you who want something a bit more complete. So which do you find more satisfying? Well, let's talk about all of that live right now.
Alright.
Welcome to Game.
And then he goes in for a freaking tour. Who was on this? I think it was this mostly MatPat's staff? Oh no, so there's Doc. Yeah, oh boy, yeah. Alright, this was this crew. Yeah, that was the old school days. Wow. Well, alrighty. That was a crazy experience. So actually, I think I have all the footage I sort of need, so I need to really get cracking on this video. I didn't think I'd be watching MatPat for this long, so. We've only been streaming for 90 minutes, which isn't that long, but I guess we'll do our thanks. So, 1 second. Let me get my video up. I haven't had a video out in a couple of days, and I had to get that shot, and it sort of knocked me out for like a day and a half, which doesn't usually happen, but, you know, that's just how it can be sometimes. But those videos. So, let's see here. Did I do it right? I don't know if I did. No, I didn't. There we go. Alrighty, so let's pull up the video. Let's see if we got any takers. Okie dokie. So, Floppa joined my Discord. I know, I saw you earlier. Thanks, Floppa. Trash Talkers, no, I want to say I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you. What the hell? I didn't subscribe because I thought this channel would be one of those channels I watched 3 videos from, but after this video I have at least 24 more left, so it would take my sub. Oh, thank you so much. Save Steph King. I saw your first vid and thought your voice sounded weird. I came back a few months later and heard you and realized something was wrong, and I was worried. Alrighty then. Thank you, Safe Left King. Lawless, your voice is extremely soothing. Really? That's surprising. I think it's more like it's on the verge of collapse, but I've definitely gotten better since that first video, as if you've watched this video and you can hear. Where was it? Let's not show that on my stream because I haven't done it. Warning. Can't be showing gruesome scar images of my leg. Here we go. So bad. I'm super proud of it and it did really well, but it's really tough to listen to now. However, Security Breach has been out for a bit now, and having been given some time to digest the game. Look how Inception this is. Yeah, that was my first voiceover. Really good. Lawless, thank you. Stay hydrated, thank you. Desmond Kuhn, thank you. Alright, anyone else? Oh boy, any haters? Hey Aiden, thanks so much for hanging out. Mr. Shockwave, or MR Shockwave, thanks so much. FNAF 4 is indeed scary. Logan, can I add you on Discord? No, I don't really just add people on Discord, but thanks so much for being in stream. Fedgrod, you're in the MatPat stream, thanks so much. DF Bonehead, Fortnite good? If you like it. I mean, if you like it. Hey Lolbit, thanks for hanging out. Top VR, Theft King Celeste Net Squad, thanks for the reminder. Elizabeth Moriaftons, thank you so much. Fedgrod, Stream Gang, thank you so much, Fedgrod. Doki, no, it's nice to see you as always, Doki the daycare attendant. Split Fancy Cakes Peasant. Do you remember my friend Split Fancy Cake? Yes, of course. Duskix, can I make you emotes for Discord? Asking for commission examples and why not? Yeah, sure, if you want. Hugo, I was in stream. Thank you so much, Hugo. CJ Oscar, thank you so much. Or Siege Oscar. I think it's CJ Oscar, though. Berserker, FNAF 2 is a perfect game with no issues and all. Very well said. Deathbox, Shadow Freddy also appears in FNAF 3 as an Easter egg. Wouldn't that also help with Dream Theory somehow? Probably. Who's Theft King? Sounds like a stupid guy, am I right? Exactly, Smash Your Case. Very well said. Also, make sure you open the video in a new window and you play it. You put it on mute, but just play it. Give me that watch time. That's the sweet, sweet watch time. That's what I live for. I'm like a vampire for your watch time. Venom24, hello. The video on my channel is still open for you to watch if you aren't busy. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'll try to check it out, sure. Thanks so much, Venom, the Night Care attendant. Killer Svarge, now the Snow Knight Legendary Ultra Ultimate. Formerly the Snow Knight Lord, now the Snow Knight Legendary Ultra Ultimate. Was in the stream and check my profile picture on my channel and the banner because of the banner of my channel is where the Snow Knight came from. As always, here is some more luck. Alright, we're going to see where the Snow Knight came from, guys. This is Snow Knight lore. Ah! This up here is where the Snow Knight came from. Now we know. Kixels. Kixel Q. Hi, thank you so much, Kixel Q. Is that right? Qylczq. QYLCZQ. Sorry. Luke H. to Rowlet. Hey, first Rowlet. Any suggestions for what I should make on my first needle felt video? Just make a frog if you can't think of anything. Theft King. You should make Theft King. Joel Wright. Hi, Theft. I've been trying to be in every stream lately. How many can you recount? Oh, I've lost count. Thanks so much. My life is just a stream of consciousness. REA, I'm so late. Hi from... Oh, no worries. Thanks so much for dropping by, REA. Thanks, nice to see you. You made top comment on this video, you know that? ERM was the stream. Thank you so much, ERM. Paxton fell. Thanks so much, Paxton. MLGLMG, day 5. How you doing, dude? Keeping myself entertained watching nothing but movies and playing games. It's quickly growing old. I've already watched at least half my DVDs. My mother gave me permission to use the hotspot on my phone for my Xbox. Anyone have any good movies that they would recommend? Everyone give your give your well wishes to MLGLMG. Urple Guy. Hey, Urple Guy. Thanks so much for dropping by and hanging out lately. I appreciate it. Agent 3 Gaming, you too. Splatoon stream when? I'm not sure. Sometime, maybe. I don't join every stream very frequently, but I love it when I'm around. Thank you so much, Unknown. I appreciate it. Split Fancy Cakes Peasant. If you watch the older videos, there's a different voice because there's 2 of us. Understood. Cinderspark. Great stream as always, Theft. Hope you're having a good day. I am. Hope you two are. Hope you are as well, Cinderspark. Thanks so much for dropping by. Paxton fell again. Swampy morning wood grease. Alrighty. Did you watch the vids from me? Yes, all of them. Can I please be unbanned, Theft? Nah, not right now. I'll talk to you about it later, though. Pizza is neat. I don't know, Walt. You've been seeming sus lately. Well said, pizza is neat. Well said. Logan, warm or cold water? Room town. Berserker, my banner is a picture of my room at 11 p.m. at night. Nice. Goodbying HD. Hi, Theft. I'd really like you to join your Discord. Can you help me with that? Yeah, sure. Just go to the About tab on my channel. Just go to my channel, and then go to the About tab. You'll see a Discord link. You are Powers. Thank you so much. Chuggo. Hi, Ducky Doggy. Love your streams. Fedgrod. Thank you again. All right. No double dipping, guys. They only get 1 heart. Verona Desis. Thanks so much for hanging out. King Rye. Hello. What's your opinion on the Whip fan art so far? Excellent. Berserker. Don't ask Duskix what E-Moon is. You're going to regret it. Will do. Chuggo. Fredga. Okay, we got everybody, right? Goodbying. Thanks. In other words, you're secretly waiting for me to ask about New Vegas stream. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta get going. Gotta get my video going. If you haven't liked the stream on your way out, make sure to hit the like button, because we're only 8 likes away from 250. I haven't liked it yet, so that'll be 1 more. So we're only like 7 likes away, so... thanks so much for watching, and keep your eyes out for my next video. It should be out tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks so much.